Can anybody hear me?
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Runnings, coming to you live from
Good
Inside the Zone
morning.
with Lady D, Denise Gomez, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. Welcome to another exciting feature of the program where we talk about our traditions and cultures, memories of our childhood, and bouts of laughter. This morning's topic, discipline then versus now. Soft or harsh discipline, parents do them all. However, the levels of indiscipline displayed by children today are alarming. The proverbial question many parents are asking themselves is, where did we go wrong and why? As they grapple with these questions, adults raised by Caribbean parents argue that the buffing and whipping they received from their parents have made them better individuals today. On the other hand, there is the perception that those who were given the talk or a gentle slap on their derrieres are spoilt and have no backbone. Today's topic ought to be very, very interesting. Joining me this morning are Jackie Brainbox Tyson, Sharnette Mignot Brown, Maxine Max Point Lyons, and Jennifer Douglas will be joining us momentarily. Ladies, discipline then versus now. Good morning to you.
Hey,
How una do?
hey,
How una do?
hey.
Doing good. We're
We do
doing
good.
good.
Yes, yes. I tell you, it's
We do good.
another Saturday. The Lord has kept us, and we are so glad. So we're gonna give him a,
Absolutely.
you know,
Praise, yes,
gonna give him a clap this
absolutely.
morning, so that things will just flow as he allows us to really talk from our hearts, to hear the comments of our viewers as they type into our YouTube chat and on Facebook. So we welcome those of you who are joining both platforms this morning. My name is Denise, Lady D Gomez. I'm the host of the radio show Inside the Zone with Lady D. Inside the Zone is aired on Mondays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and on Thursdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. On the first Saturday monthly, there is a wonderful musical program called Gifted Fingers Touching Lives, a gift, a calling, a purpose. And we are here this morning to talk. There is the God centered focus on discipline, and then there is the paternal gifting that He has given to us to be able to discipline our children. Some get it right, some don't get it right. We'll go down memory lane and we'll share our perception of what we believe worked then and why things have changed, broken down so badly that the things that are happening cause us to say, what? And we shake our heads. And this is a global concern. So again, welcome to you ladies. Oh, no, looking nice though. Here flowing, curly Sue, the natural bald-headed look and all of that. Everybody just dress up and look nice. So Sharon's, are you hearing us?
Thank you.
Barely, very faintly. I'm having some volume issues. I don't know why.
So you want to unplug and come back? See if it will.
You want me to pop out and pop back in?
Yeah, that's
I'll
fine.
do that. Okay.
Mhm.
Get back.
We're
Okay.
hearing her though.
Yes.
Yes, we're hearing her
We are.
clearly.
So Max, how you do down there? So
I'm doing good. I've had, as I explained to you, I have death
you've
in
had.
my family, but
Oh,
Yeah,
I saw it go.
our
Yeah.
condolences,
Thank
yes.
our
you. Otherwise,
thoughts.
from that, I'm doing good. Thank God I'm here. I'm in one
Mm-hmm.
peace of mind, and I feel pretty good. My week was hectic. I had a lot to do, and of course, I did with the death of my relatives, but
Mm-hmm.
God is good
Wow.
nevertheless.
All the time,
Yeah.
ma'am. So we are gonna say thank you,
Yes,
Lord, for their lives. And that
yes,
yes,
absolutely.
they were here. When people gone, we think they've forgotten, but no,
No, not
No.
not at all.
no, no.
Not at all.
Absolutely. So welcome. So Jax, how you do over
Yes.
Sutton?
Boy, I'm do good, yeah.
Mhm. How was last week's grad function?
Oh, the graduation for the
Hmm.
kids. It was good. It was nice. I'm like I think I told you. Guess who turned out to be the keynote speaker?
No, you didn't tell me.
Oh, me not talk to you after that though.
No,
I went to the
no.
graduation. The graduation was about to finish before it started because they were just flying from one item to the next. Boom, 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 boom.
Really?
I said,
Oh,
nobody is even giving out an encouraging speech. And guess what? My cousin, who is the owner of the school, he wasn't even there yet
oh,
because he was transporting the food to the center. So
Okay.
he told the teachers that they should just he gave everybody that time so everybody could get there on time. So
mm-hmm.
everybody was there. A lot of parents were there. I think it was only one kid who came in after they started.
Oh,
And I said, you know what? Let's stretch this thing out a little bit. I said I could go up and give a little
something.
wise word of encouragement.
Right.
And it just turned out to be great. It turned out to
Oh,
be
so
to
did they
be
record? Was there a video recording or anything?
I think I have to ask my brother. I think he has a recording of it because it was like just impromptu. But
Mm-hmm.
I just asked everybody to just just stretch their hands towards these little kids because they're like 3 4 year old kids, 4 to 5 year old kids going off to pre-K. And I just gave a moment of silence for the kids in Uvalde that we lost in Uvalde,
Mm-hmm.
and
Awesome.
just gave them a nice little encouraging words. And they sang "We Are the World," and they were so awesome to see these
Oh,
little kids singing "We Are the World." And I thought it was just appropriate, for them, and
yes.
they did such a good rendition of
And
it. And
they are the
I
word.
just
Mm-hmm.
encourage the parents to speak positive, So I think it's great in keeping with the subject this morning too. Just speak positive words into their lives, and
Mm-hmm.
good encouraging words, and not using curse words and insultive, you know, um, words or phrases to them because they live what they learn.
That's
And
true.
we just have to come together and be one because look at those kids that we lost in Uvalde. So, it turned out to be nice, really
Oh,
good.
very nice.
And
And
then
Sharon's.
Tuesday, that
Oh,
was Saturday. Then Tuesday was Shantae. Shantae was just moving up. It wasn't necessarily a graduation. So for her,
yes.
it's just moving up.
All right.
So
So I
it was
like
good.
to
It was a good week.
touch base to see how you all doing. And Sharon's, how was your week?
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
My week was good, thank God.
Okay.
It was good. It
Nice.
was
All
all
right.
right.
It was all right. So
Yeah.
welcome everyone. Discipline then versus now. Janet, what say you?
Oh dear. This is a very loaded topic that can go in any direction, but I think that I think that we have strayed away from the path that proved to be good for us, like as parents. But I think that if we keep values, there's this saying that you have to, honor where you're coming from to, to know where you're going. But sometimes I think what has happened is that the new parents now have strayed from the way they were brought up, and they have not realized how much of an impact it's making on this generation, because the things the values and the discipline and the things that we were raised to admire or to try to emulate in some shape or form, those things have been, for the most part, not everything, but some of those things have been put to the side because persons are thinking that it was not good for them, or their parents didn't know good enough, or they just were backwards in some way, and they have strayed from that. But the tried and true is the tried and true, and if it worked and you're here and you're fine, I think it can also work for your children. But it's a long list of things that we have departed from, in rearing children. We don't realize that it's impacting the wider generation. And you also have to know that, like Jackie was saying, I couldn't hear initially, but we are the world. We are the world. And your child might be, being raised in a particular way, but when they all come together, they're going to rub off on each other. So what are you arming your child to go out there and
Exactly.
rub off on their peers? You know what I mean? It's like I said, it's a very loaded subject matter, and persons will hold to what they hold to. You do have some persons who have stayed with the way they were raised and it's working, and you have some who have departed from it because they think it was a
Mm-hmm.
time where people didn't know what they were doing, and here we are reaping the not so good benefits in some cases, I would say.
Thank you. And Jax, your take?
Well, yes, people are going to say that things and times have changed. Yes, things that time have changed, but I think just the simplest forms of discipline. Should I call it discipline? Manners, just manners. Excuse me. Good morning. Thank you.
Hmm.
How are you today? Those simple things we learned, and those were staple, I would say, when we were growing up. Staple. You'll be considered rude if you come into somebody's yard and you don't say good morning. Are you stepping up in somebody's house? No, kids just step past you. And just as simple as saying excuse, they're
Yeah,
not just step
I
past
mean,
you, they
as
bounce you, push past you. You
as
wouldn't
the,
dare do that
yeah,
when we were
as
growing
they
up.
say, how do I'm thinking I broke no square. You know what I mean?
Right.
What I see, like in my building, I have to take the elevator. I'm going outside, I'm taking the elevator. And I've been living in my building for many years. I raised my children in this building. And the children I see now, the parents come in the elevator. They don't say a word. The kids don't say a word. So then you lead, you should lead by example. So if you come in and you
Right.
can't say good morning or hello or excuse me, you're gonna step on my foot. Why would the kid do it? The kids just stand there
Exactly.
looking at you because you don't do it, so they don't do it.
They
Absolutely.
live what they learn.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
that's exactly what I was
And
telling
sometimes it's not all what you say,
the
it's also what you do.
Right.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Even the
Max.
attitude.
Yes, yes. So, Max, let's hear your take.
Okay, so what I do know is that my grandmother was the principal of discipline, and she was the person who grew me up. So she was a no nonsense person. She just had to look at me. She never had to point finger, just the look. We all know about the look.
She
Just
put the
Yes.
one
fear of God in.
look is all that it took, as the song says. And I'm serious about that. So I got beaten now, I should say, because it wasn't just me, it was my, yes, the point finger. One pointing
Mm-hmm.
and one look, and that did it all. But as
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, we got beaten for everything, every single thing. Sometimes when I look back as an adult now, I said to myself, a lot of stuff we got beaten for was not necessary, was needed, and sometimes I look back and I look at it as abuse in myself, But
Mm-hmm.
I also know that it has made me who I am today because
Mhm.
I'm a no nonsense person too. And as Shernette mentioned earlier on, growing up we had to say Mr. and Mr. everybody. As long as
Oh.
that person was older than you, it was Mr.
Mhm.
Tom
Mm-hmm.
and Miss
Mhm.
Mary or Miss Mia or whatever. Nobody called
Mhm.
But
anybody by
Max,
first name. And you know,
but
Yes.
yes,
even
dear.
but even your older cousins, you have to call them auntie. I
Right.
don't know
Yes,
about you. My older cousins, they are my
yes,
cousins, but you have to call them auntie,
yes,
Yes.
or you have
yes,
to call them cousin Sue, cousin
Yes.
Margaret,
Mhm.
auntie
yes.
Pam. But it's really
Mhm.
your cousin, but they're older than you, so you can't just call them by their
Call him by
first
the
name. That
first
was
name.
unheard of.
Mhm.
Yes. I
Yeah.
remember
Yes.
I had a cousin. I remember my aunt and my cousin came from England to visit. And of course, I know that Auntie Jean is Auntie Jean, but
Mhm.
Lilith is my cousin. And I wasn't sure if I was supposed to say Aunt Lilith or cousin Lilith. And because I said Lilith from a little
Because
girl.
you can't just say Lilith,
Yes,
you're
and I was
dead.
confused. I start Aunt Lilith, but then
Yes.
inside
Especially if
my
they
head,
come
I
from
said
foreign.
because I know she's not my aunt, but
Not
me I call
true.
her Aunt Lilith because she's older than I am. Me a
Mm-hmm.
little
Mhm.
girl there. So it
Mm-hmm.
was hard for me, but as I said before, a lot of the lessons that I learned then I've carried them over into my life now. I
Mm-hmm.
remember the last beating I got was at age 16 because I'm telling you, I was very stubborn. I'm Scorpion, I'm stubborn and set in my ways. If I saw me want it, that's how it go. And I
Mm.
remember my grandmother, we had this dresser in the room. Them Farmica dresser, and the dresser chip,
Mm.
a little piece of it
Mm.
chip, and she asked me, how the dresser chip, and I said, me then what she said, then me and you want to live in a Muslim, but we have other cousins that used to come to the house and sleep there. So it could have happened by being done by
Yes.
Mhm.
the house, not
Right.
even though I was the one
Right.
living there permanently. And I said to her, I
Mhm.
said, I don't know, mom. And she kept on saying, you know, must know, you me and you want to live in a carry on. And I got so mad. And I shout. Me say, me no know, mom. And I said, that was the beating of my life. I was 16 years old, 16 in high school.
Oh.
Wow.
And she give me a piece of
Wow.
warping. And on top of
Mm.
the warping, me have to walk the high gate barefoot. Go buy two
Oi.
pound of beef for Sunday dinner. Yes. She beat me
After
Oh,
till
the
I have
whipping.
blood cut.
Jesus.
Blood
Yes.
cut and blood up my dress. And me had to go to Highgate the
Oh
Friday, walk to
Lord.
Highgate. I'm telling you, she never joke.
Mm.
Mhm.
I
Mm.
was
But
outside playing with the neighbors' kids and somebody start crying. It had nothing to do with me. Me get beaten.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
how she was. She
Mm.
was a real
But
discipline.
something when we think of Proverbs 22, verse 6, and we all like to repeat that verse, especially when we want to send a message.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Train up a child
Telling the way
in
it
the
should
way it
go.
should
Mm-hmm.
go, and when he's old, he will not
Not
depart from
far
it.
from it. True.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that mean? Because if you are not inviting God into your home, because it's in our home that we learn first.
Yes.
It's really
Mm-hmm.
in our homes that we are taught right
Exactly.
from wrong, right? Right
Mm-hmm.
from
Yes.
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I recall growing up as a child in penance when I went to penance, because I had a little difficult few years leading up to age 7 because of my parents marriage failed and mother couldn't manage and so on. So I wasn't getting anything about no Lord and come and kneel at bedside and pray. I didn't
Mhm.
have that until I went to pedants
Mhm.
and walked into this family. My grandmother, that was her thing. She was a woman of God. So, church going, family devotion, like it or not,
Mhm.
we had to
Mhm.
go push up mouth, dying to sleep. So, we claim, because we don't want to go, you know. But that
No.
was it.
Yeah.
And to
Mhm.
reinforce the purpose of it, if she sat in that living room alone, she would start to sing, and we are there laying down wishing we could get even another hour, and she would sing until
Yes, we know.
everybody have to. And so, the conscience get alive now, and you
Mhm.
say it look bad, and you need to
Mhm.
go out into the living room
Mhm.
and
Yes.
have family worship.
Yeah.
Worship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in most
That's true.
households, so that's why, when we are talking to parents today who are having children even younger, who they don't have that foundation. That was not a
Mhm.
part of their lives. God wasn't in their lives. The church in their community, they go and so on. But that moment in time where you are taught the word of God, even if it flew over our heads, because half the time we don't understand a thing.
Mhm.
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 But if you go
True.
back now, there are certain phrases or scriptures that
Mhm.
comes back to you, and you will
Mhm.
recount
Mhm.
what those devotional settings were actually
Yep.
like.
Yep.
And you can quote
Yes.
Absolutely.
your grandmother or your mother,
Mhm.
saying so and so and so. And so you now would take that and do the same thing. So it became a wonderful generational practice
Mhm.
in
Right.
your household. But if you don't have that,
The
then
foundation.
your children now are
Hmm.
starting to intermingle with peers who all they hear is profanity, or all they
Yes.
know is going out to beach, river, some other activity that did not include Christ and being in his house, whether it's on a Sunday, during the week, what have you. So there is that really, really unfortunate experience that we are seeing today, because there is that breakdown in
Yes.
family.
Yes.
Mhm.
And as we have gotten older, many of us have taken the position that well, because a lot of family units had husband and wife. If they were not married,
Yes.
it's common law, but there was a man and woman who are my
Both
parents
parents.
in my
Yes.
household.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, as you and I know, the fathers are the one who them not going nowhere, but they would say, Joyce, pick me now, go to church today. That
Mhm.
kind of thing,
Right.
because they
Right.
were
Yeah.
raised that way. They just didn't follow through at the time,
Right.
That's
Yeah.
Mhm.
yes.
So
Yeah.
the
True.
variables that are involved are so many. And then again, we start to say, well, we grew up now, we big, we no need to do certain things no more. And Sharnette alluded to that. So the things that we don't do no more are the things that need to be done to
Mhm.
Mhm.
maintain that
Yep.
level of godly awareness and the principles that are involved. If we have
Yes.
godlike principles, we don't have no problem.
Right, because
True.
Yes. True.
it helps us to, especially at a young age, it helps you to develop that, what I would say is social conscience.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because you
Mhm.
think twice before you do certain things.
Mhm.
It
Absolutely.
creates
Absolutely. You do.
that in you naturally. So
Mm-hmm.
before you cuss out somebody or say something, use some profanity to them or something like that, you'd remember that upbringing, and that it just triggers something in you. Like I said, that
Yes.
conscience in you say
It's
that,
in you.
let me just walk away from this, or this is not what I'm supposed to do. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
right thing.
Yeah.
So that foundation is
You know,
important.
I want to make. Sorry, I want to make a point too, because another thing I do know too, even though all four of us here sitting speaking, and we grew up almost in the same era. I have my
Mm-hmm.
siblings who grew up in the era with me, but
You know,
also their behavior is different from
I'd
mine
like to
because
say, speak for yourself, you know, Max.
all right, 18-year-old. Sorry, I'm 18. But, but the point I want to make is that um
Yeah.
on a serious note, it's also who the person who grew you up. Because I grew up with my grandmother, my siblings grew up with my mother. We lived in the same district, but even so, with that, our upbringing was still different. Because my grandmother was my mother, a soft soul. My mother was a soft person, and so was her husband. So my siblings'
Yeah.
discipline and upbringing is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
The things that my sister, my younger siblings could do and got away with, it never happened. I couldn't get away with it. My sister, who is now a grown woman living in Florida, she have her boyfriend and could go out and spend time all gone for the weekend. That could never happen to my grandmother out. Those
Mm-hmm.
things used to make my grandmother really upset because she was a disciplined person. But my
Mm-hmm.
sister lived
Mm-hmm.
with my mother, and my mother chose a different path, a different way of doing her discipline and growing up my siblings. So even though we're in the same time frame, the
Mm-hmm.
upbringing was different, the discipline was different. It was just
Yes.
totally different, you know?
Also, may I say something? We can't forget too that nowadays you may try to instill that foundation that we got, that godliness and the godlike discipline from that we started out with. But
Mhm.
nowadays, the influence that these children have,
Yes.
they have every child in my household has a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They have access to every kind of channel on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the monitoring comes in. We might not be able to get up at, we had to get up like 5 o'clock in grandma's household and do what do you call it, devotion. No, we get up 5 o'clock. You have to hurry up to get them at school by 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the in a little prayer we go on is have a good day, the Lord is with you today, or something like that in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
influence that they have with the television, the things that they see on TV, even though
And
you
their
put
friends.
what you call it, what you parent
The
monitoring,
blocker monitoring.
Mhm.
right, on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's like the
yeah,
programs that they present, it's still edgy
Yes.
and
Even
yeah.
in
suggestive.
cartoons. Mm-hmm. Even
Oh
in
God, don't
Yes.
even
cartoons.
talk. But you
Yes.
know what?
Yeah,
You know what too? We have to acknowledge that the world is changing, and quote unquote modern days and all of that stuff is upon us. That's where we are, 21st century and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, what's available is going to be available. We didn't have tablets and all of that stuff, and we
Yes.
have to embrace. With the good comes the bad, but we have to embrace, the changes. We have to embrace. Okay, they have tablets and all of that stuff because there's some good to it and all that. So
yeah,
when I say we, I'm talking about. I'm a grandmother, so I'm an advocate for the grandmas out there because if the foundation is not laid, the house cannot stand. Period.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
our foundation was laid. My mother, I grew up with my grandmother, and like Lady D was saying, the household when she transferred to her grandmother, that's where you got the discipline, as far as you got knowledge of God and how to
Mm-hmm.
live, and you have devotions and stuff. So my mother, she was not a Christian. My sisters them could do. I mean, I said could do, but they could, they perm their hair, they had pierced
Right.
ears,
Just like me.
all of
Yeah.
them things. I couldn't do none of that stuff. But the way I was raised is the way I am helping my daughter to raise my grandchildren. And I tell them, I said, the big one is 9, the middle one is 7, the little one is 5. And I tell them, this is our foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You have to let your children know where you're coming from. Don't act
Yes.
like, say, you just appear up just so. You
No.
tell them what the foundation is. And don't tell them as if you are ashamed of the foundation.
That's right.
Be
Absolutely.
Exactly.
proud of the foundation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Look here. Yeah, the kids come here as as a blank slate. What's written on them is what we put on them. So if we're gonna get all modernized and go along and act like say, well, there's no God or whatever your concept of God is, it's okay. And this is that. That is some foolishness. We know when my grandmother used to, when me do not now, she go beat me, She put up her and I said, see God there, see God there. She look up into the sky like say
So you
God I
know
go
God
I
agree
see.
with
look up
her
to see
because
God.
she going exactly. Then make sure them put godly fear in you. You know what I mean? So you know there was a God somewhere who
Yeah,
was
oh, yes.
listening. Them tell you about the all-seeing eye. They
Yes.
make you know God not sleep. So whatever you're doing,
I'm
even if
seeing you.
they're not there, oh, what do you man? You know how many things I did not do because my grandmother always said, see God there. And even if I'm not there, God is seeing you. It helped me
Mm-hmm.
stay out of trouble. You know
Yes.
what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
Yes.
I wouldn't
Yes.
second guess. So
Words are
I am
powerful.
instilling, yeah, we are responsible for the children we bring here. I
Mhm.
can't be responsible. I can help you with yours, or I can make sure mine are a good example. So when it meet up with yours, they can positively influence each other. But I have to mold
Absolutely.
mine while they can be molded.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of parents, I mean, young parents now. I'm talking about parents in their 30s, 20s, and so. They grew up in church. Sunday school was the norm, or Sabbath school, young people's auxiliary and all that was a thing. It helped them in many ways. And now all of a sudden, their kids are growing up now, go to church, never
Yes.
hear about God. Them don't know a Bible story. Them don't know a Bible character. When Halloween come, them a jump up, them a Superman, them a this witch and that witch. And know say Mary Magdalene was the woman that you need to instill these things in the children. I mean, I have a friend who I went to high school with, and her daughter actually asked her to babysit her daughter, so it's her granddaughter she's babysitting. And the girl gave her mother a list. Mom, don't do this. Mom, don't do that. This is what you do. 8 o'clock this, tablet time. Then you do this. Don't tell her that. Don't tell her this. I mean, this is her grandmother, the child is going to spend an overnight with. And
Yes.
you're not saying, well, the child has an allergy, so don't give her eggs, don't give her nuts. It's not like that. She is coaching her mother because she's letting her mother know, oh, in my household, we don't do this. If that's the case, then keep the
No,
child.
no, carry on.
Because if I'm the mother who
Exactly.
has,
Keep
yeah,
him
I carry
peaceful.
you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I carry you, and you're not worse off for it. I know you come here and you're married to whoever and you have this child and you're gonna tell me from soup to nuts what not to do. So the child is my boss. The child is in my care and the child is my boss. That is unheard of. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
One of
So,
the
and
one of one
one
of
of
the
the reasons. Sorry.
go ahead, Max. Go ahead.
All right. One of the reasons why generation is like this right now because a lot of time it's children having children. People are
Yeah,
having
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, it's a,
yeah,
Younger.
girls or women are having babies at a early
Younger.
age.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like picnic have picnic, so it's hard. So they're not even mature mentally yet before they have a child.
Themselves.
So they have
Yeah.
no clue what to pass on and what discipline is and what to do and what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the breakdown is generation breakdown because it's getting younger and younger. Grandmothers start look
Mm-hmm.
like don't look like grandmothers anymore, like back in the
Glamour.
days.
No,
They're
no,
glamours.
but you know what? I actually know a family. The mother had her daughter at 16.
That's what
The
I'm talking
daughter
about.
came and had her daughter at 16. And the
Mm-hmm.
other daughter came and had a kid at 16. So granny is 60. Great grandma is 16. Oh, you go. Everybody are 16 years
Glam.
apart. Put it
Yes.
that way. So when
Yes.
when you call for granny at 20 something and great, I'm like, no, mother at
Great
20
spirit.
something and granny at 30
So
something.
barely for shower, barely 46 or something like that. Great
Yeah.
grandma.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And because the age grade on some of the discipline gets weaker and weaker as the
Right,
generation
right,
progresses
And
because
right.
nobody
Yes.
learned
Yes.
everything.
another
Nobody
thing
started too early.
I may point out too, it doesn't matter when we were growing up, it doesn't matter which household you went to. If I left here as a child and I went over to say one of the church sisters' house or somebody another adult's house because they have kids our age and we'll go and play or something like that, them can discipline us, you know.
Yeah.
So
Of
better not
course.
come to their house with no rudeness, and you make sure say you bring your manners from that house. Come here. Let me give you a point. All right, our neighbor right here, right, has a little girl the same age as my two nieces, and she was sick for a couple of weeks. So she really wanted to come and play with the kids, but because she was sick, her mother wouldn't allow her. Now that she's a little better, she was able to come and play with the girls. And she came in, and it was dinner time for our girls because they just came in from school. And it was dinner time, and she was here. And she's very good at explaining whether I don't want dinner. My mother's making dinner. Even though she's 4, she can explain herself very well. But she said, they're going to have dinner, so I'll have an apple. I said, that's fine. You can have an apple. I washed the apple, gave it to her. So I said, you have to wash your hands. She went in the bathroom. My sister didn't know that she wasn't going to eat. So she said, is she going to eat? Is her mother making dinner? So we called her by name, and the answer was, what? That's how she answered. What? You wouldn't dare answer my grandmother, no, what?
What?
Yes.
So I said, what did you say? I called her again, and she said, what? I said, not here. That does not happen here. I said, you're going to answer yes, Auntie so-and-so, or are you going to say yes, Miss so-and-so? But in this household, you do not say what.
Yes.
That's an epidemic idea.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to draw the line, and you have to set down your house rules, regardless of who comes in it.
And you know what I've observed. You were talking, Max? I'm sorry.
Sorry. So I was just about to say what I do as an adult. When I go around folks with young kids, whether it's my neighbor, my family member, whoever, the first thing I always say, I always say, my name is Auntie Maxine. What is your name? I always say, my name is Auntie Maxine. I do not give them the opportunity to call me no Maxine, because that's not how I grew up. Even my friends have his sons, and they all refer to me as Auntie Maxine. And we're not blood relative, but they know to put something next to my name.
We would say put the handle to the cup.
Yeah. Put angle on the can.
Yes.
Angle on the can.
Right. So we welcome Madam Jen this morning.
Hi,
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello there.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing, Jen?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. I'm very polite this morning. Very extra polite.
Yes.
Yes. Jamaicans believe that politeness is talking standard, like you're twanging, you know.
See him so.
But I love when the children then say, "Morning, ma. How you do? How you feeling?" You know, I like when the children them do that, especially when the Jamaican children greet. But in where I'm living in Florida, the kids, when you go to the schools, they say, "Ma'am, hello, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?" You know, that's down south there for you. We learned from when we were young. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone? All the audiences, everybody, welcome. And I'm here, Miss Jen in the house. Okay, so when I was growing up, my mother always teaches me we could not see our uncle or aunt and don't say Aunt Gladys or Aunt something or Uncle Lenford, or we have to give them their title. So if you're married, it's Mrs., Miss. If you're not married, it's Miss. Some people are now calling people auntie, even if they're not really the aunt. You know, I remember one child I used to call, I called his grandmother aunt, and he said, "Are you related to us?" You know, because they hear the aunt, the uncle, you know, and we were always told that if you're going through the door, you see an elderly person, you open the door for them. My son still have that little way about him. If he's going through a door and somebody say he hold the door. And I remember one person say one time she opened the door and the person came through and never even say thank you. So they tell them to come here and close back the door. But
Ah.
no, but I'm just saying.
That's interesting.
Wow.
But no, but it's like it's the manners, and my mother always say this: manners take you through the world.
Yes.
As I said, I wasn't a
Yes.
bright student. I couldn't read till I was a later down in my life. And but my teachers loved me because I'm always greeting them. I'm always polite to them, like, how are you feeling? How are you today? And they like my little baby voice. So they always, gravitate to me. So whenever I can't do anything, I get that special, come sit beside me, right under my eye, the teacher would say, because they remember how polite and they want me to go very far. When I'm going on the bus, this lady in our community would say, if I'm passing, I say, good morning, Miss Myrtle. And then I would walk past, and then I come back again and I see her, good morning, Miss Myrtle. And then the mother send on the street again. I go past again and say, good morning. She tell my mother, why your daughter tell me morning like 5 times in the morning? And that's how I was.
Jennifer, she did have Asham.
No, she never. No, guess what she did? No, she had better than that. She had all the fruit trees, guinea tree, tamarind tree, mango tree.
Jen, something had to happen here this morning. Yes. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. We call that quasi psychology.
Thanks for sharing.
Exactly.
Before we jump over to our audience, so morning, everyone viewing us, we appreciate you. It's Saturday morning. We're there. I was about to say too that one of the things that has contributed to the breakdown, there were parents who had things very difficult growing up. Now they've had children, and they took this position that what they went through, they don't want their children to go through.
Yeah,
so
overcompensation.
There you go. And now they have befriended their children.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
They're not operating in the maternal role, paternal role. They are friendly with their children. And some of the snide remarks and rude behaviors and so on, they just give a slap and say, you mustn't do that. It don't look right. Not reprimanding the child.
But sometimes they don't even do a half-hearted reprimand. A little boy used some profanity within my hearing the other day. He was 8. And when I told the mother, you know what she said to me? What she asked me? She said, did he use it in the right context?
What?
Lord Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why she asked me. She thought it was, and then I look at her. I was like, seriously? Yeah. And she said, oh yeah, maybe it's from me because every now and then I kind of slip up or whatever.
Yes.
And I said, that's the best you can ask me. You don't even, because I already had a word with the child. And I say, don't have a potty mouth. You're talking like a sailor. That's not right. It's disrespectful. So on so. And I say, if you hear a grown, I hear the grown-ups do it. So I say, okay, if you're a grown-up with it, you're not a grown-up. You don't do it. And I gave him a little speech. And instead of her adding to, she just said, oh, was it in the right context? And she thought it was the funniest thing.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what we are dealing with. I mean, even if we wanted to, I'll give you a joke already about me and profanity, and that was a one-time trial, and that was the last time. When I was
at first and last.
But seriously, we really, really have a problem. And every day, everybody wondering why. And it is staring us in the face.
Yes.
But we don't want to admit it, that we really are not doing right by our children.
Yeah, because everything that the kids do nowadays, they're cute.
Yes, and then
Yeah,
you
think
know
it's
you
still
have
true.
found you have now fostered relationships with people whose children are just what we would call downright bad. People don't even want them at their homes. So you are friends with those people, and in the event you take a position, your fear is that, oh, maybe they won't want me around them no more. Me can't be friends with them. So there are so many things that parents are doing to the detriment of
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
children. So let me
Remember,
And then
hold on
I
a
Yes.
second,
remember. Okay.
Sharon's.
I
Sharon's,
remember when.
let me
Okay,
just
I
hold
remember.
on, hold on,
Sorry.
hold on. Let me just acknowledge our audience, and then we can continue.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
hold your thoughts a moment, because we haven't bigged them up one iota since we're talking, but they
true,
have
boy.
been but they've been very gracious, but sticking with us. So you know how we go. I know you're all listening. So Horton says morning to all of us, and Charlesy, as always, good morning to all of us. Andrea says it did more good than bad, meaning when we're talking earlier, some went from far right to far left. That is why we are in this position, plus no prayers in school.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Very
what.
much
So,
so.
um, okay, here, Andrea, she also says they stare in your eye and don't say a word.
No.
Mhm. Um, And she says, but if parents didn't go to church, the children went to church. I had to go, many of us. Carol says, Carol know me from we little. Yes, Denise, you could hear Mama Ruby, that's my grandmother, praying from a distance for what seems like an hour or
More.
more. And can I tell you, even if it sounded like an hour or more, my grandmother was not repetitious. She targeted every person, everything, every situation, every principality, everything my grandmother would pray for. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Ryan.
Sister Charles says, I would never give up my upbringing. It make
Upon
me
my
who I am
upbringing.
today. Too many of these modern mothers want to be friends with their children. That's why they are so
Yes.
out of order.
Yes, yes, the
True.
young
Facts.
people.
Ryan
Facts.
says, look at what is going on here. They take God out of school. Then when the devil walk in, we all cry out for
Cry
God.
out for God.
Aye.
Yeah, that's so
You
Go,
true.
see?
Ryan.
Yes,
That's the
so
truth.
true.
Yeah.
Solid
That's the
Mm-hmm.
words,
truth.
Ryan.
Then Brenda says, all of my cousins, I had to call them auntie and uncle. Up until now, I still call a few of them that.
Yeah.
Me too.
The
Yeah.
older ones are older, yeah.
Yes. Morning, Wilbert. Wilbert says, breakdown in family life. Remember this? No bastard, no day again.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yes. Okay, so those are our comments this
Yeah.
morning. We haven't seen Ricky. We don't know what happened to Ricky this morning.
Yes.
Ricky must
Ricky
be
and Fred
must
Uncle
be.
Lee.
I remember. Do you guys remember when the look? You remember the look?
Yes,
Oh,
man.
Oh, yes.
oh
Talk
yes,
Okay,
so
about
I
the
true.
look.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember the look so well. Like my mother, if we go out, I was doing anything. She just have to take off her glasses and go so and look.
Yes.
And you
It's like
know
she's
what that
better
mean.
without it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that mean. Especially when guests come to the house and you
Mm-hmm.
say you prims up yourself from guests. You have
oh.
to make sure when she give you that look, you just say,
You know.
excuse me, and you have to
Yes.
go.
And
Yes. You
don't
And
you
know.
dare dip your mouth
sometimes
in a
after the
big
look.
people argument.
Yes, and
Dipping your
Mm-hmm.
mouth
sometimes
in
after
a
the look
big
and the
people
implant, you
argument.
get something for it too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So I
But
remember.
it's something too, because even here when I have to interact with some of our young children at church or young adults,
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
sometimes
sorry.
sometimes if you acknowledge them, their response is just so odd. I have to
Yeah.
say odd, that you have to stand up and say, did you just say, and then you'll say, this is what you should have said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they're looking at you and wondering why.
Yes. They look at you
Yeah,
then and
Yeah.
they
say,
don't know. And that's the part. They don't know any better. And like I said before, they are blank slates.
Hmm.
I mean, I am famous for telling kids, you don't know more than me.
Right.
You
Mm-hmm.
have some parents who act like the kids know more than them. If you get
Mm-hmm.
grown and you pursue a career and you are versed in whatever area of study, kudos to you. And I can say, well, yes, Jackie, you're new nurse, you know more than me. I acknowledge. But
Right.
kids growing up and just what would I call brought up, see, you don't know more than me. And if I tell you the missteps I have taken and the floggings I have received, and I said, look, it made me better, and this is where we are, this is what we're doing. That's what I expect you to do. You don't
Right.
go out. You can't. You have these mothers that overcompensate these
Yes.
children. Like, well,
Yes.
oh, you are my king, and your name King what? What made you a king? You're a kid. You just born. You can't even spell your name. Yes, your child, and is the best thing since sliced bread and all that
Yes.
stuff. I'm not saying don't big up your kids. They are your fruit
Children,
of your loins
yes.
by all means. They are your bono no stew, aki and saltfish and all of that stuff. But you don't put them up as if they are even above God Himself. You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
you have some mothers
Over
who,
spoiled.
yes, the kid, I go to do my
Yes.
nails, and you
Be
have the little
humble.
pitney where 5, I get money petty next to the mother. And I'm like, come on now, you can bond with the child, but you are going hairdresser, and they've not said them I get braids, them I get blowout. And no matter that talk about the fashion, you had the mommy and me fashion, the back cut
Yes.
out, it make out a spandex, the boots high. You want them in the same fashion. You're the adult version and they're the kiddie version. You're growing them up to what we call force ripe. Them force ripe.
Yes. We got
And
to
when
Yes.
you're done,
right.
yeah, and when you and teach them, the things you have to teach them value.
Yes.
Let them be assertive when they grow up later on. Let them know the value of their little bodies and stuff. Now make them seek attention.
From
Whatever
early out.
whatever missteps you have made or shortcomings you have, don't have that perpetuate on the whatever a boy or a girl. My Pastor Quarry, may God rest his soul in eternal peace. He used to always admonish parents when they come to bless babies. He said, do not give them things to live with and nothing to live for. You have to
True.
balance it. You don't give them this and that because you never have it. So they have this and they have that. And even if you give them tablets and all that stuff, put on the Bible app on the tablet. Then my grandchildren, that's how them they started to know Bible story. I put on the Bible app, and they have to read the stories, do the puzzles that follow, relevant questions and so on. That way they have an understanding and they can kind of grow from there. But
Yes.
if you just launch them out on society and them is just the best thing ever
Hence,
and
yes.
all of that stuff, and you don't acknowledge, it takes a village. If somebody else
Yes.
can pour into your child's life in a positive way, allow them
Definitely.
to pour into, yeah, whether it be the granny, the auntie, a family member, somebody at church, somebody in the society. Let
Yeah.
them do it because you can't do it all.
That's
And you
true.
know what too? I know a lot of times I want to big up the kids, the teenagers. I learn a lot from them too because we do learn a lot. It's just that in life they might not able to balance out life properly, and they will say, "I know everything." No, you don't know everything in life. But when it comes to maths and English and stuff forth, and you might know that more, and you show me a few things too,
Yeah.
so we can learn from them other things. But when it comes to life lessons, we
Hmm.
as older people, we know the best for
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, because we have lived
um
it.
we also must also give them room to also
So
experience life, because if everything we're going to tell them is wrong, and they're going to say, okay, we're going to listen to you, we're not going to bother to do it, they will not experience the consequences to let them either build and be a better person.
True.
I'm
True.
not talking about go shoot gun and violence and all of that. I'm not talking that. But if they're having a relationship, some teenagers them say, I'm in love at the age of 13. You know that that's a folly. But it's like they're not gonna listen to you. They try sometimes not listen to you. So you have to let them be and let them experience. When they suffer broken heart now, they say, oh, I'm broken hearted, I should have listened. So they have learned something from it. You understand? So sometimes we
right.
have to let them experience what they're experiencing so they can have life lessons,
But with
like
with
that.
guidance.
With
So that
guidance, I
means
must say,
we
thank you, Jackie.
Exactly.
With
also we
guidance,
Exactly.
yeah.
also have to
Yep.
we also have to be accommodating enough for them to be able to be comfortable enough to come to us
Yeah, but
and
not
talk to
breathe down in
us.
their back.
Because I with my
There,
You
son,
know what?
no,
That's a
there was
very
a
good
my
man.
son
point.
is
I
going
don't
through
cut
a
you,
little bit,
Jackie.
right?
I don't cut you. But there was a man and a wife. They adopted some children from China, and they lived in Manhattan. And one of my friends, she was a nanny for them, and she said when they came and growing up, like one day one of them must be just go in the room and slam the door. He took the door off the hinge. This is not took the door off, and they didn't have no door. They don't
Right.
have no TV in their room. They don't have no nothing. Only they come, they do their project on their computer or laptop, and that is it. They're now at the university studying like doctor, lawyer, whatever. But I'm just saying that sometimes we have to step in. But when we step in, make sure you be consistent. You don't just say
Yeah.
half a like today. You say one thing, and then they think they know that you're playing with
You're
them.
all
You're
over the
Right.
place.
so
Right.
they continue doing what they're doing. But if you tell them no TV during the week, no computer during the week, unless it's school project, keep on your target, keep at your goal, and they will say, "Oh, them serious, okay." Because
Yeah, and another important thing too is if you have two parents or two people in the household, doesn't have to be parents. Say it's a single parent with an aunt growing up with also an aunt or uncle. Everybody, all the adults have to be on the same page.
Same page.
So
Yes.
if I say don't do it, you should be able to run to auntie and think you
Yes,
can get
true.
away with
And get
auntie
a
go straight to
change in
auntie.
mind.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
run come to me. What did mommy say? That's the first question I'm gonna ask you. What did mommy say? Well, whatever mommy says, that's what we're gonna do.
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
So
yeah,
everybody has to be on the same page.
and that's why
I
children
call
always
it the
take
house
time.
rules. That way you
Yes.
don't blame anybody. It's the house rules. The house rules are you do not get up from the table until everybody finish. The house rules are you don't this, you don't do. So because you don't want to blame anybody. Say, hey, auntie say you can't, mommy say you can't, daddy say you can't. Because some kids say, mommy, you're mean, daddy, you're the
Yeah.
mean one.
Mm-hmm.
These are the house rules, these are our family values. This is what we do. And you leave it at that, you know, if you explain your life away,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to make a point because ladies, I have a situation where when I was growing up, I have a cousin. She's grown woman now living here in the States. And she got her last beaten at age 22. She was working.
Woo.
I'm serious. And I'm saying this because sometimes parents overdo things. And as
Mm-hmm.
Jackie just mentioned, both parents need to be on the same page because her father was very strict, still alive, bedridden now. And so was her mother. Mother's passed now. But they were both on the same page. This woman was a grown woman, very disciplined, nice young lady. She had a boyfriend who they didn't approve of. She was 22 years old, working on her own money, but living in at home still. And her father used to run her down and beat her up and fling cutlass after her and carry
I
on.
honestly don't
Mm.
believe in that.
Yes,
I
and
don't
I'm
agree with
talking
that.
about 22 years old, finished high school, past her six
No,
day,
that is that a darkness. You call that
past
darkness.
Yes, no,
six CXC subject with
no,
Mm-hmm.
distinction, short and the
no.
whole 9 yards in a school teaching. And just because she have a little boyfriend, her father was being
No, that I
I
don't agree
think
with,
I
honestly.
think one of the things is that parents also had this innate fear that their girls won't turn out good. The moment they
Mm-hmm.
see, yes, that's the moment they saw a boy, the first thing bell that goes off is that this
Mm-hmm.
boy going cause me picnic not to go no further. She going get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
The
yes,
Mm-hmm.
community going laugh at us. A whole lot
Mm-hmm.
of things. And so,
Mm-hmm.
in an effort to prevent it from happening,
they go the extra mile.
they went the extreme to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that
Extreme.
it didn't happen, not realizing that
Yes.
one, growing up as a young girl, you are going to feel embarrassed,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your
yes,
Yeah.
peers are there with you,
Yeah.
home,
yes.
school, church, the entire community. So everything is going to break down right there
And
for you.
obviously, you must have done something good because if she got to 22, not
Yes,
didn't get pregnant or anything, she's able to leave school, have a career,
Mhm.
working her own money, and she's still living under the roof, your own roof. I'm sure she was contributing to the household. You must have done something good, so there was no need
Right.
Yeah.
to
But
Right.
you
That's
beat
know,
her up.
that's the
but,
No, I
extreme.
don't believe in
but
that.
that But at
Yes,
that
to me
time,
that was
Jackie,
extreme parenting. That to me that
yeah,
was just extreme. And every time back, and it's funny because back then I didn't even understand it, but now that I'm grown and more educated, when I look back,
mhm,
I'm saying, but that was nonsense. You're
yeah,
not 22-year-old and your father beat you still.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
working,
Yes.
you chip up, you chop up, you cut up.
yeah,
Oh, that's
You
because
can't go,
crazy.
you
because
can't
a
cook
lot.
a
Okay,
certain
okay.
way.
So may I?
Mhm.
You have enough
It
time?
was
May
not
I say something
nonsense.
quickly? I was watching
Yeah, because we're
something.
gonna
I
wrap
was
up
watching
soon.
something on. Yes, I was watching something on TV, and it's about being locked up in Jamaica, and it was a documentary. But this fella came on, and he was talking about the discipline that he received from his father, and I think that was abuse. That wasn't necessarily discipline,
Yeah.
because the father
Mhm.
would beat him, and then when he finished beat him and put him in a one pan of water with pepper and salt.
Oh, woo!
No,
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah, those are
That's
extreme,
abuse.
and
no,
that is
and
why.
then eventually he became an abuser himself, and it was
Yes,
Uh
because he
huh.
killed somebody he ended up in
Oh,
prison.
yes,
oh,
yes.
Yeah.
So we have
Mhm.
to also be
Mhm.
careful of this quality discipline, the quality and the quantity that
Because
Mhm.
burn
yes,
out,
we
you have
instill.
yeah.
some
that's me
parents,
back.
I think in Africa, they would burn, if the kid do something, they burn their finger and all these things. And, I think that is why a lot of the government don't allow too much corporal punishment in the school. Because some of us, we take the frustration out on the children, and then you would start
Yes,
to beat them, to kill them. And you cannot do that. You cannot
Mhm.
no,
do
Yeah.
that. So I think that's why
no.
a lot of like teachers and parents, they don't bother to beat, because sometimes they will beat the kids them so till, oh my gosh, it's like
Yeah.
I watched a YouTube channel once or a video when a mother was using cutlass to beat the child.
Oi,
Cutlass.
No,
Mhm.
no.
Yeah,
and
we've seen that in
throw soap
Jamaica.
down in the picnic mouth and them something. No, I don't think we
One
have
man,
to
one
go
man
that
did
far.
tie him son in a ant's nest.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
Oh.
him
Mhm.
time in a ant's nest.
No,
Every
not
kid
we're
was
not
was a
talking
pro.
about those kind
He
of
must, yeah,
discipline.
tie him up in a ant's nest and make the ants then bite him up and left him right there.
Yes.
That is that
I
is
think
something
though,
different.
what I think though is that if parents, young parents, more mature parents are having some concerns, because no matter what, we were raised, we were born, we understand that there is right from wrong, no matter who
Right.
we are, what position we take. We know when we are off. We
Yes.
observe other
Mm-hmm.
people. We see how other people operate. We know when we are lacking in certain things. And I believe if we are honest enough to say, I don't think my parenting skills are where they need to be, then
Mm-hmm.
then you need to reach out. It's either you reach out to a minister, a guidance counselor in your school,
Yeah.
somebody who you trust
You respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and
Trust
respect,
and
who
respect.
you
Yeah.
believe have that level of maturity to sit and to listen to you and to get help, because
Right.
many people who are parenting children need help.
They need
Yeah.
Yes.
parenting themselves.
and
Especially the
and
young ones,
and
especially the young ones.
most of them are taking care of children. They are single parents.
Themselves. Yeah.
Men
Mm-hmm.
have, and that is why, even though it may have seemed so um cruel that this father would be running down him daughter at age 20 odd, but when they sometimes look at a boy, if this boy don't seem to measure up, they don't want their children to have any dealings with them.
Mhm.
Though we are supposed to walk this life and have our own experiences, if they can help to prevent some of the experiences, we perhaps would be better off. The measure they take, we don't understand it.
Mhm.
But I'm
Right.
telling you, sometimes people will assess more than we do that boy over there. So he's
Not
not
right for you.
he's not for my girl, or that
Yeah.
girl
Good for
not
your
right
picnic.
for my boy, because there are some parents who are raising boys that you would never want to come at your gate and say hi to your girl picnic.
That's true.
Oh
That
yes.
is
Oh
true.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
have just raised them in such a way that you don't want them to come and approach your
We used,
daughter.
we used to we used to call them Lego bees.
right? Yes. So, when as we are talking about, discipline then versus now, if parents are honest, they will seek help. And
True.
when they're seeking help, the intervention is for the family.
Right.
Because
Yes.
you can go and talk about the breakdown that you're experiencing. Some days you can't manage, you're pulling your hair, all kind of something. But then you need to have your children in sessions as well to
Mm-hmm.
talk about what they feel, why they feel it, what
Right.
influence they're experiencing from other children on the outside.
Mhm.
Why is it my willpower is not as strong? So I can't say yes to Mary when she want to go someplace when I should be in school. All those things
Mm-hmm.
where they
Mm-hmm.
can stand up and say, no, this is wrong. I will be the odd one. I will not
Mm-hmm.
come with you. I will not do the things you
Mhm.
do. So parents have to be willing. We can talk from now till tomorrow until you seek help
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know
raise
what?
your children
Another
the
thing I
right
want to
way.
say before you close off is that I'm a culturist. I call myself a culturist, and I believe culture, a part of God is forefront, and God is a part of our culture. Christianity is a part of our culture. Religion is a part of our culture. If you grow your child in a cultural environment, like I always refer to like the Chinese and the Indians, and I have been in the schools, and most of the students who are well behaved, will do their work, are the kids who have a cultural background. And a cultural mean that you're disciplining them, you're giving them religion, Christianity, or whatever religion you focus on. You are also the food they eat, the language they speak. You keep them within that boundary, and they will always remember where they are coming from. So they will keep that culture alive. So they won't be like going to school and fighting kids. Most of the kids that fight, if you notice in their home environment, there are always fights in their home environment. There are always younger parents raising them.
Yes.
So they're not really able to know much or know better. So they feel like fighting is the only way out. So as a lady D said, it's good to get people to talk with their pastor, get them into a church, get them, because Sunday school teacher teaches different stories about how
Right.
to, and so forth. So it's all about culture. Culture. You have to incorporate culture in your home to get a better child.
Right. Well, we're going to wrap up now, ladies, because I do have an event. But I believe this was very enlightening,
Yes.
informative, and it tells us that we care, we're concerned,
Yeah.
we're concerned, and you know, sometimes people will say people who born in this country is almost like them not know them head from them foot, but we can say that's not the general
Mm-mm.
right
Right.
consensus because there are
Yes.
people who are very firm and have good foundation here in this country.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when young people now are just going and buying an ammunition and going in and taking the
Mhm.
lives of people, or somebody walks into a doctor's office and because the doctor didn't do XY, rather than going and having a conversation, you take it upon yourself to just go and kill people because the doctor
Mm.
did do something, or so you thought. So the reasons behind some of these mass shootings and so on, it bothers us, and we wonder why couldn't somebody reach out, what people see and don't say, because we operate that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We see but we not say nothing, we don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
it. That's the other
We don't
part
want to
too.
get involved. So we
Yeah.
want to thank everyone for tuning in this morning. And ladies, you know my heart and love for you all. I am hoping that God will continue to bless you and multiply for you as we all, are here working together to do the things that He wants us to do. So, Miss Max,
Amen.
you have pretty self here going on,
Wow.
you know.
New look.
All right.
Yes. Those are all the titles tracks for my songs. I'm presently working on a new one, and You See Me Glory. is doing very well right now on a lot of charts because the story that it tells is a factual story. A lot of people can relate to it. You can find me on all those platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Music. You can find all of my songs, and you can find them on Facebook. I'm a Facebook junkie, if I may say that, but I get paid. All right, so thank you, Lindy, for this opportunity. And thanks again. It's a wonderful show. Have a great week, each and every
Yes,
one.
blessings.
Okay.
And Miss Jen?
Okay, so I am, parents and those who are listening, please don't fool yourself. Some of your children are not doing very well, and some of you children are not moving on. I am here to help, and I help them as small as 4 years old, and they will be able to read. Get help for your kids. Come on board and contact me. And I see my number there and my email. I do virtual tutoring. I am here with the kids, and I'm telling you, they will advance. They will advance to even greater level if you allow them to be around me just for an hour. You can do and see improvement with your children. So come aboard. Let your children come aboard for the summer. There's a discount for summer. If you do the summer, you get a discount. Okay? And your children will achieve and advance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jack.
Well, cake still a bake, pudding still a make. Jackie's still here. The pudding pan still a bang.
Right.
So, puddingpantop@gmail.com or 917-533-2380, or just contact Lady D. I'm
Right.
here.
There you go. And Sharon.
All right. It's time for graduation, Father's Day. Contact me for that special gifts for dads or grads. So many things you can find in this catalog. Shades of Color by Sharon, African American inspired gift items. WhatsApp me 646-342-6838. So we are a rounded bunch. You got Max Music, you got Pudding, you got kids reading, you're getting gift items. Lady D keeping you in the know.
Everything
What's wrong
there,
with
so.
your man? We are
Everything
the
there, so.
crew. We are the
Amen.
crew.
Amen.
I love that. I love that, Sharon. And for Lady D, Denise Gomez, I'm the presenter and producer of Inside the Zone, twice weekly radio program, Mondays 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. with the Monday Drive, and Thursdays 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Center Stage. I'm also an MC, a voiceover specialist, a playwright, stage production manager, and so much more. And you may contact me at insidethezone@gmail.com, or you may call 914-304-2592. Well, I think we did
Okay.
good. What you all think? We did good?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an
Great.
awesome show.
Yes, we did good.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Another good
Thank
one.
you, guys. Thank you.
Okay,
and
so
we
blessings to
kept
each and
God
every one.
we kept God at the center of our conversation,
Yes.
We
Yes.
have to.
because it's
Very
through
important.
him.
Mhm.
Yes, it's through him
Mhm.
that we, have to exist and do what we need to do to be better persons in this life. So, ladies, everyone, blessings, lot of love.
Yes. Let's
See,
bye,
Ta-ta.
everyone. Have a beautiful
ta-ta.
weekend. Yes.
Each and
All
every one.
right.
Bye.
Good night.